What's up, everybody? Dog 1985. There's levels to this. All right, guys, check this out, man. So, yesterday I had the privilege of hopping on the Brown Table podcast. Shout out to King Thrash. Shout out to Sick Humor TV for letting me on there. So, this is what happened. I was listening to their podcast and they were talking about PlayStation games going to PC, and Sick had this take that I um I actually agreed with, and I understood where he was coming from. He was basically saying, and I'm paraphrasing, is that Sony, by putting their games in this game God of War on PC, and by what Jim Ryan is saying with his words, is pretty much opening up the floodgates as to where these games are going to go on to next. And he doesn't see why they would stop at just putting games on PC. He doesn't see why they wouldn't do day and date in the future or whatever. And it was interesting to hear the panel go back and forth, and a lot of them didn't want to hear what Sick was saying. So I went ahead, I hopped in, and basically I was just agreeing with what Sick was saying. Now from there, the conversation turned into Xbox Series X, why I bought an Xbox Series X, and all this other stuff. And this is why I'm making this video, because just like every podcast, just like every interaction or anything like that that you may have, once everything is done and the smoke settles, and hopefully you guys are having your own little debriefs in your head after, encounters like that or whatever, you can see things a little bit better when there's not any white noise or any noise, period, right? And what I realized is this, right? If these consoles, Xbox is already there, the Xbox Series X is already there, there is no need to buy an Xbox Series X. You buy an Xbox Series X because you want to buy an Xbox Series X. There's almost no need to buy an Xbox console, period, because like 95% of those games are going to be playable on PC, right? So there's some games that, has there been a console exclusive game? You guys correct me if I'm wrong. Was the Falcon, not the Falcon, it was the Medium only on, was Medium also on PC? It might have been. There might be a game here, one or two in there that was only available on the Series X and wasn't available on PC. I do know that Game Pass is different from PC to Game Pass on the Xbox Series X, but even or Xbox or Game Pass on console. So again, the physical box of the Series X itself or the Series S itself is not needed, and Microsoft is doubling down on that. The fact that their vision is for you to be able to stream to your Xbox One console these Xbox Series games, like that's, again, they're doubling down on the fact that you do not need an Xbox Series X. So the question was, why did I buy one? And I admitted, like I've admitted plenty of times on this channel, I believed in the power narrative. I believed that the Xbox Series X was going to run like a 2080, whatever, and I believed in that power narrative. I made a video about it a long time ago, got destroyed by Griffin Gaming. Shout out to you, Griffin Gaming. And you know what it is, at that point I feel like, yeah, I deserve it. It was a very ignorant thing of me to say, and I know better. I won't compare consoles to PC ever again, because they're just not. It's funny because when these consoles were coming out as like the most powerful consoles, it was like Nvidia then dropped their 30 series card and already were like demolishing the power that these consoles have. Like, it was ridiculous. So again, no need to purchase the Xbox Series X. As minute or as irrelevant as it may be to someone like me, the fact of the matter is that the Sony fans had a legitimate reason to say you need a PS5 to play PS5 exclusives. That was a legitimate argument. As dumb as it may sound, right? I don't want to say dumb, as insignificant as it may sound, because some people will be like, I'm not gonna buy a whole console just for a few exclusives here and there. Okay. Now here's the thing. All right. We're not gonna deny that Sony makes great games as far as to what their genres are like. So that um story driven, action driven, single player based experiences. Sony's got that. They got great games that do that, right? As far as a Sony exclusive multiplayer, I can't even think of one that would compete with something like Gears or Halo. Like I just can't. I'm being honest with you. You go ahead, feel free to educate me. What Sony multiplayer would even compete on the same level as Gears? And remember, Gears and Halo literally have like professional tournaments and everything. So that's what I'm talking about, okay? Um, what are you gonna say? Maybe Street Fighter? Street Fighter is Sony exclusive. So maybe that. Maybe you got one. You got a fighting game. But besides that, the whole argument of if you want to play a Sony exclusive game, you have to purchase a PlayStation. That was a good argument. With this move that Jim Ryan is trying to do as far as putting games on PC, because he said it clearly, he wants more people to play Sony games. There's only two ways you're gonna do that. Either you're gonna sell more PS5, which right now you can't even do even if you wanted to because of the supply constraint, or you start putting your games on other platforms so that people can experience it. The time exclusivity argument to get a PS5 is going to work for those hardcore PlayStation gamers. Those hardcore PlayStation gamers that can't wait to play a game, they're going to be okay purchasing the PS5 so they could play that Wolverine game or the new Spider-Man game, Venom game as soon as it drops. They're going to be okay. They're going to go ahead and keep their PS5. Those people that can wait to play a game and already have a good PC, or we're already on the fence thinking about buying a good PC, man, they're gonna take their time, they're gonna build their PC, and they're gonna be okay playing those games once they do come to PC. So then it comes down to this. What is the reason to get a PlayStation? I already said there is no real reason to get an Xbox Series X. If Sony loses the exclusives, what would be the reason? And this is where this gets interesting. You and I both know, and this is where consoles might be headed in the future. Consoles right now are looking more like limited PCs, meaning it is an efficient way to play games, have them look great, but you're not getting the full PC package. And now it's up to you which limited PC you want to get. Do you want to get the Xbox Series X? Do you want to get the Xbox Series S, which is cheaper but even more limited? Do you want to go with the Xbox One, which is really cheaper but extremely more limited? And pretty soon there aren't going to be no third. You're not going to be able to play next gen games like Far Cry 6 and stuff like that, or the new GTA. I'd be surprised if they make the new GTA run on the last consoles. That'll be disastrous. But anyway, stuff like that. Or do you want to use a PS5, right? Because the fact of the matter is that a PS5 and an Xbox Series X, value wise, is an extreme value compared to buying a PC that can do the equivalent of what it can do in the short term. If you're someone that has patience and can wait long term, then yeah, that PC is going to outlast these consoles because for all intents and purposes, these consoles are already outdated when it comes to technology. Like there's not just one or two graphics cards that are better than these consoles. There's like 3 or 4 graphics cards that are better than these consoles. GPUs, SSDs, like CPUs, SSDs that are better than these consoles, right? So why would you purchase a console in the near future? For me, that I don't have a PS5, I bought a PS5, but my son is the one that has it. I got a PS4 Pro. Okay, I am playing Sony games. I'm playing God of War 2018 right now at not at the highest setting. I'm not playing at ultra high settings. That's the best way I would be able to compare it to, right? So it's like that person that has a 2070 that's looking at that 3080 and it's like, well, I don't need to upgrade right now. I'm okay playing my games at this fidelity, right? Now, a PS4 Pro is more like, I would say, what, maybe a 1650, probably, maybe, right? You guys don't know that reference, some of you. But I just think it's really interesting because what Sony is doing with this adoption of PC, I actually like it because it's giving us consumers a lot more choice. So if you felt obligated to buy a PS5 and a PC, if you were a PC gamer and you felt obligated to buy a PlayStation, whatever, because those games weren't coming to you, now you really have that choice. Do you actually want to get that system? or not. And for some of you, you might still want to, because this is what you guys got to understand. The type of games that the PlayStation makes, that the PlayStation is known for, are the perfect type of games that look great on a big 4K TV in a surround sound environment, sitting on your couch, playing with your haptic feedback controller. Those are the perfect type of games for that. They might not be optimal to be playing on an actual PC in the monitor, your face right there close to it. So it could be feasible for someone to have a very powerful PC in their gaming room and to have a powerful PS5 in their living room, right? The Xbox Series X and the Xbox ecosystem is the advantages. It's literally an intertwined ecosystem that connects. So you can have your Xbox games on your powerful PC, whatever. And if you want to transition and play them on your TV, get yourself a little Xbox Series S. Or when the streaming and the cloud becomes good enough, because it's not there yet, on the Xbox One, you could go ahead and stream it. So I just think the whole future of gaming right now is looking very interesting with this move that Sony is making. Is it going to work for them? I don't know. Is it going to hurt console sales? Logically, I think it would hurt console sales, but I don't think it's going to make that big of a dent. I think the software is really what Sony wants to make money off of, and they're going to be able to sell a lot more. Or maybe their games are good enough where timed exclusives just continue to happen and we don't see day and date for a while. And if that's okay, if that's the case, then good on Sony. I'm happy for them. It is what it is. For right now, I'm chilling with my PS4 Pro, so I choose to run my PlayStation games on a lower end graphics card, and my Xbox games I choose to run on an Xbox Series X and not on a PC, because my PC is a 1660 Ti. So all that I got from when I got off of the round table, and I thought it was very interesting how the dynamic is now changing, and that's what these companies got to do. They got to continuously shift the dynamic. That's what Microsoft did when they came out with Game Pass. Like, they were getting destroyed, they had to figure out a way to become competitive, so they brought the value proposition, and you can tell that yes, they want to sell Xbox Series X. Obviously, if you make a product, you want to sell it, but they're okay with you playing their Xbox game anywhere else. That's their bigger priority. So it looks like Sony wants to start doing that as well. They want you to play their games more than just purchasing their console. Dog 1985, yo, there's levels to this. You guys let me know. How do you feel now that you see where all this stuff is going? Is it worth getting both next gen consoles, one next gen consoles? Or maybe everyone that bought the Series S is a lot smarter than we think. We out. Peace.